There is a story about wealth in America. It's a story told in gold leaf and polished glass. A story of towers that scrape the sky, with a name emblazoned on the top, like a signature on the horizon. We all know the name. We've seen it on buildings, on stakes, on reality television, and eventually, on the most powerful office in the world. And because we've seen it so much, we feel like we understand it. The story says the man is rich because he builds things, because he's a brilliant deal maker. The story is simple. But the real story, the one about how the money actually flows, is not simple at all. It's stranger, more complex, and far more human than you can imagine. If you try to grasp it, it's like holding water in your hands. It slips through your fingers. Because the key to understanding how Donald Trump really makes his money is to realize he's not in the business of building buildings. He's in the business of building a myth. A myth, it all started, as most of these stories do, with a father. Fred Trump was a builder, a real one. He built sturdy brick apartment blocks in Queens and Brooklyn. He made a fortune not by being flashy, but by being relentless. He understood tax codes, government subsidies, and the simple, unglamorous business of housing thousands of families. He gave his son the seed money, the connections, the empire. But the son didn't want the boroughs. He wanted Manhattan. He wanted the skyline. In the 1980s, he built the towers, Trump Tower, the Grand Hyatt. He borrowed enormous sums of money, betting it all on this vision of shimmering, unapologetic luxury. And for a while, it worked. The media loved him. He was the symbol of an era. But behind the scenes, the story was different. The casinos in Atlantic City, which were meant to be cash machines, were hemorrhaging money. He took on catastrophic debt. Multiple bankruptcies followed. By the 90s, the man who had written The Art of the Deal was reportedly billions in the red, personally guaranteeing loans he had no way to pay. By any traditional measure, he was a failure. And this is the moment. The pivot. The point where the real business is born. Because when you can't make money from the thing you're selling, you have to find something else to sell. And what he found was his own name. It started slowly. He began licensing the Trump name. Other people would build the buildings, take all the financial risk, and they would pay him millions of dollars just for the right to put his 6 gold letters on the facade. He wasn't selling real estate anymore. He was selling a feeling. The feeling of success. From there, it exploded. There were Trump-branded mattresses, Trump water, Trump steaks, Trump neckties and fragrances, a board game, a mortgage company, a university. Almost none of these things were actually made by Trump's company. They were just cloaked in his name. He had discovered a kind of financial alchemy. He had figured out how to turn fame itself into a liquid asset. His name was the product. His story was the brand. And the more he was on television, the more he was in the papers, good or bad, it didn't matter, the more valuable that brand became. And then came the masterstroke.
Jim, I'm sorry, you're fired. Get out of here. Right?
You're fired. For 14 seasons, The Apprentice wasn't just a television show. It was a weekly, hour-long commercial for the myth of Donald Trump. It wasn't real. It was a production, a carefully crafted fiction. He was playing a character, the ultimate, all-knowing billionaire boss. And we all bought it. NBC paid him millions, but the real value was incalculable. It took the brand he had built in New York and beamed it into living rooms across the entire planet. It cemented the myth. He was no longer just a real estate guy. He was a symbol of power. When you understand this, when you see that his true business is the selling of his own story, his next move doesn't seem like a pivot at all. It seems like a logical conclusion. Politics was the ultimate merger. It took the brand, the myth, and the performance, but most of all, it's in our heads. The value isn't in the buildings, or the golf courses, or the gold-plated faucets. The value is in the story. A story about wealth and power and success that he has been telling for 50 years. And perhaps the most enduring and unsettling part of that story is not that he was able to sell it. It's that for so many people, it was exactly the story they wanted to buy.